Yep, no, we'll be on YouTube. We are live now. What up, Das? So we'll wait a couple minutes for everyone to kind of show up if anyone is going to show up. Yeah, if anyone wants in, I mean, there's only 8 people here, but if any of you 8 want to get into Zoom and show your charts and walk us through it, get some help with anything, just shoot me a DM or message my Telegram and I will add you to the Zoom. Trying to find a good music app on my phone. What do you mean, Spud? Like, is it going to be saved when we're done? Is that what you're asking? I mean, you can come on and show your one trade if you want to. Yep, yeah, it'll be saved just like the live stream, so you can go back and rewatch it if you want, if you're not able to stay on. Yep, no problem. I think I found a cool playlist for the copyright-free music. Let me know if it's too loud. What up, Dallas? You got charts, Dallas?
Hey, like we're just like charts from like past trades this week.
Yeah, just going over the trades for the week.
Sure, I'll send a chart. It'll be kind of naked, but
Yeah, just send it to
got a lot
me.
of stuff on it. But like,
Yeah, send it to me directly on Telegram, and then I'll pull it up, and then you can walk me through it. Yeah,
Will we be able to just share our screens?
what's up?
Will we be able to just share our screens?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
How do I minimize this shit though? There we go.
I sent it on the Telegram.
Yep, yeah, just send it directly. That works too. Rapido Dimas. Sweet. Thank you, Fog. We'll be starting soon. Just trying to make sure anyone who wants to show up is going to be here.
Take 5 oil change is now open. Simply drive in, sit back. Service done right, guaranteed. Take 5, the stay in your car, hassle-free oil change. Come in now for a $29.99 oil change.
I don't know how much more people are going to show up. I'm going to go grab a drink and then we'll get started. Alright, Dallas, you ready?
I'm ready, Freddy.
Alright.
I really just got like one question about it.
About what, your trade?
About this the chart that I sent.
Okay.
About like, so you see right before Asian Open.
Hold on one sec.
It broke 1, 2, 3 kind of mini supports there.
Hold on. Ow. Oh my god, that hurt. I couldn't even mute my mic in time. Alright. So we got Dallas's chart. Your chart is up, Dallas, so walk me through. It's going to be late for you on the live stream, but walk me through what you're seeing.
Yeah. Okay, so you see where it says Asian Open?
Yes, sir.
The previous bearish candle there, it broke below 1, 2, 3, two kind of good supports and like another kind of mini support.
Yep.
To the left there as well.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, with the momentum, why didn't it continue down? You know what I mean?
Because momentum looks to be up. In a sense.
But with all that resistance up there, 1, 2, 3, at least 3 big spots of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just confusing, you know?
Yep, no, I see you. So, I think the price was just ranging, that's all. That's why it did that.
Yeah.
So, it had nothing to do with anything you did wrong. It's just price didn't know where it wanted to go. So, Asian session probably just didn't have enough volume to actually break down and push down or actually break up and push up. So, then once you see that drop down area, that was basically price just kind of grabbing enough orders, you could say, to then drive us up for, I'm assuming that's going to be probably London open. So we probably drove down to then drive up kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was just, price was just ranging and that was just a fake out. So pretty much no trade there is what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the only chart you got?
Yeah, honestly, I'll try to mark up some more charts from previous days, but
Yeah, no, I mean, if it,
give me a little bit.
I mean, it's, I got some charts I can pull up, but if anyone else has any charts, send them to me on Telegram, and then you can join the Zoom and walk us through your trades.
I have a whole bunch.
Do you have my Telegram?
I think so. It's in your description, right?
It'll just be the same as my Instagram. So just send all your charts, and then I'll pull them up, and you can walk us through each of your trades. And then I'll go through mine, and hopefully someone else will pull up theirs, and we can go through theirs. And then I have this actually be a productive session. For the people in the YouTube, is the Zoom chat loud enough? Can you hear them good enough? I mean, we'll just move it closer just to make it even better. That should work, I hope. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to walk through this trade real quick that I have, and then, okay, perfect, and then we'll pull up your charts. So, this trade I actually didn't record in Trello just because I ended up forgetting and then I didn't have time. So, this was the day that I made a mistake. This was Wednesday, I believe. The 18th, let me see, is that Wednesday? Yeah, I think it was. But this was the day I ended up over trading in the session. I think, where was it? It was right here, this one. Before session started, I ended up taking a buy when it broke above here. I think that's what it was. But there was just, as I know we caught this buy right here to the upside. And then, I think we caught there was this sell. This might be the wrong day. But there was one session I did end up over trading. And I wanted to go over that. And I thought I had it pulled up. But I do have all the other losses. And say it might have been here, so I think this would make sense. I took a buy probably once we broke above here, and then tried to take it up to here, and then it didn't play out and came back, stopped us out. That might have been it. I'll just make sure I record that for next week because I can't figure out if it was GJ or GA, but I do have the other losses. Let me close this. Alright, sweet. So these were the trades from this week. This was when I just started doing the journaling and whatnot, so I'll pull up these losses just because I feel like they're going to be beneficial to look at as well. So this is where I do all of my Let me just pull that down real quick. This is where I do all the journaling. I do it on Trello. Basically, I mark up for the week. I have a little section for each week. So this was the 6th to the 7th. So I think I started this Thursday, and then this was Friday. And then this was the 9th to the 14th. And then the 16th to the 21st. So one thing you're going to notice, anytime there's a red label like that, that's a loss. Green labels are wins. And then I just put the date, the session. I don't have the session on the beginning 2 weeks because I didn't start doing it till the middle of the second. But then I know the trade, and then I got a picture of the chart right here. So this trade, what ended up happening? Yep. So I entered on this first bullish candle right here. It ended up pushing and breaking above, but then it came back and stopped me out right away. So I think the issue with that trade was momentum was down, and I was trying to take a buy, which didn't really make much sense. So that was my issue with that trade. So the better trade would have been after I got stopped out, once we broke above this bearish wick right here. That would have been the most ideal entry. So this one pushed above, you would have entered right about here, would have pulled back, and then pushed up just like that. So this one, for it to work out, it probably would have been better if I let it get a little bit higher above that candle, or waited for, even if I waited for this next one, because this one did push above, so that would have been another confirmation to go up. But price was going down, so I think what I should have been looking for was a sell below this bullish candle. And once it broke the low, it would have fallen. This was probably 12 or 14-ish pips right here. So that would have probably been a trade that worked out, and then it ended up switching, but I'm sure this ended up coming down as well. So another trade would have been below this bullish candle right here, continuing with momentum and then taking it down probably to fill this wick. That would have worked out really nicely. And then I have a little bit of note. Took a buy on support in a downtrend, traded against trend. So that was the error there. I think I did the same thing here. Coming up on 2 years now, and I've actually made some of the most progress in the past since starting the live stream. Alright, so here, what did I do? Entry on a bear, yep, okay, so this trade used to get me a lot. So you see this bearish candle, we formed resistance, but what I would always tend to forget to look at is this candle. It's touching resistance that was just formed, so it's like it's still in there, but it also pushed all the way down and touched the support and pulled back up. So whenever that candle happens, a candle that is at support and resistance in one candle is definitely a candle you want to stay away from, or wait for it to at least break the high or the low. So in this sense, with the new kind of trading confirmation that I added, that I look for is the break of the high. So if I would have waited for a high to break above this 15-minute, as you can see, that would have more than likely been zero drawdown straight to take profit. So that would have made sense. And then the ideal area for a sell would have probably been, below this bullish candle here, or that'd probably be the most ideal. If we broke this bullish candle here, we'd go down and fill that wick, which would be with momentum, but since we couldn't, and then we ended up going up, we have this wick kind of up here, could target here or here, once the highs right here are broken, or close above and then take it up. But I typically prefer to get in once the highs are broken, just especially with GA and GJ, for example. They're both so aggressive that whenever the highs and lows get broken like that with trend, you typically don't, I'd say maybe 20% of the time, if that's even pushing it, I would say, you get like an actual 30-minute break and retest. It normally just does this and goes for the trades I've taken. But that was the other loss. So that candle I learned from. I actually have a 4-hour chart as well. So yep, this 4-hour candle closed bullish, and I was looking for sells, but these wicks all form that support here. And then with how we do things now, from what I've learned, I should have been focusing on this candle, not all of this. So unless the low of this 4 hour was broken, I'm looking for buys until then, is how I do it. So if it was this bearish candle right here, I'm looking for sells until the high of this candle is broken, but then we come all the way down, and I was anticipating after this candle that we would come down, but it didn't even break the low here. It made a higher low and had a good close, and then we couldn't break the low again, so it's going to make sense that we could at least get up to fill this wick here, if not fill that wick there. And then this is where I started to add the break of the high confirmation or break of the low. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'll pull up some good ones. So this one we took a buy, kind of against momentum. Still was figuring out everything I liked here, but once it broke the high of here, I just anticipated we would get up to this area, which was about 25 pips, 20 pips, maybe something around there, between 20 and 25. And this right here is 10. So as you can see, price pushed up 20 pips or so. We closed at 10 and got out, and then it reversed. So even if you are on the wrong side of the trade, if there's a ton of volume and it's breaking highs and lows of previous candles, whether it be with trend or against it, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get 10 pips out of that, even if you're on the complete wrong side of the trade. Yep, so buys on break at high of previous 30-minute. And as you can see, I kind of do that. This one was a little different. This is probably the only one that was not a break of a high. Mic is a low. Okay, here, let me move it a little closer. That will make the mic louder. Alright, so if you say the mic is too loud, you're going to have to turn your volume down, because that's how we're going to do it. So this trade was based off of this hourly candle closing above all of this. And then we have clean traffic right here. So once this candle pulled back and kind of retested this area right here, I took a buy down here on it was a bearish 15-minute close. I just took a buy at the bottom, and then it ended up pushing up here, and then it did end up rejecting here and coming back down off of this area. So kind of got lucky on this one, but it was with the trend. So even though it ended up being wrong in the end, we still were able to get 10 pips with minimal drawdown and get out. Yep, yeah, so I like to wait. I like to enter on a break of a high or a low with momentum of like previous candles. So this week will be really good. So we had GA sells in Asian, break of previous 15 minutes. So I use the 15 and the 30. Sometimes if it's moving super aggressive or it just looks really messy, break of an hourly low works too. Pretty much any time frame that breaks a high or a low, I will execute on if it's in an area that I like. So this candle, price was going up. This looks like we have down momentum because price came from here down to here over the weekend, pushed up, retested the area we broke over the weekend, and then this candle pushed up into it, and this just kind of looks like price pushed up, and once it got up there, it pulled back. So the next candle just kind of followed that and pulled back as well. So once we broke the low right here, I took an entry and took it down. The runner came down to here. I closed 10, probably about right here. Shit, this thing's lagging. Same thing on this one. This one was actually messy, but it did end up working out. So I always like I said, with momentum, so we're going down, so we're going to look for sells. We're not looking for buys. So which candle was it? It was this bearish candle. We took an entry, and then as you can see, it did not come up and breach the high, and then this low got broken right here. So this entry was, once we broke below here, was our sell confirmation. So whenever I'm trading with the momentum, if candles break the lows or highs of previous candles, typically it's going to be a candle of the going in the opposite direction that ends up kind of making the most sense. So waiting for it to break this bearish candle, it shouldn't have when price is going bearish, it shouldn't have an issue with a bearish candle. It's going to be a bullish candle that gives it an issue. So when it gets below the bullish candle, this wick isn't going to stop it. It would have been this area that stops it, from what I've noticed. And then we should have continued down. But as session opened, we kind of pulled up a little bit, and then we did get the drive further down. Mic is great. Okay, cool. I do have a loss in here. There we go. This one just, I'm assuming it's because it closed just below this wick right here. But the idea was once we broke above this wick, we should have continued, which we broke above. And then this was a really good hourly close. And then this one pushed above here, which was my confirmation to take us up to here. And it just inched above and then ripped back. So we took a loss there. But the next entry would have been right on this candle. And I actually took a buy on the 15 minute when it broke above here. But there was no bottom wick yet, and my stop loss was right here because this wick wasn't here. And price came down, made a wick, and then continued up and actually took off to the upside. So I made a note that if I lose a trade like that, gotta wait 30 minutes to look for something else, and then keeping the stop below the previous 15 or 30 minute. Because if I'd have had it below the previous 15, that would have still been right here. Instead of having it on the candle that did the move, it would have just been smarter to have the stop loss down here, and then we would have been fine. But this candle was actually really, really messy. It took off to the upside, pulled all the way back down, stayed bearish down here for a hot minute, came back up, came back. It was all over the place. And then I'll pull up one more. Do you have your charts? Did you send them to me yet? Whoever was talking in Zoom.
Yeah, I sent them in Telegram.
Okay, yep. I'm going to go over one more chart, and then I will pull yours up. And I'll tell you which one I pull up, and you can walk me through it. I'm trying to find a good example. We can do Fridays. So we'll do today's trade. That ended up playing out really, really nice. So this was this morning in New York session. So price is trending up. Price pulled down. This bullish candle could have been a good entry, but there was this right here, and I didn't like that. So if we got above this bearish candle, I figured we were going to continue up, flip the 4 hour, which would have been right here, and then continue up to the 4 hour high and continue past that, because everything to the left was clean. So once it broke the high, I got an entry just right there, and it literally, as soon as I entered, it went up 10 pips. I went break even, closed, and then I ended up letting a runner go to 20 pips right there. So same thing, break of a high. I mean, if I pull up all the wins, it's the same exact thing every single day. Break of the high right here, target up here, zero drawdown again. I'll pull up one more. As soon as we broke above this guy right here, we took an entry. This one was more so based on the fact that it did this huge liquidity grab, and there was this fake out to the downside here, and then this actually closed above this area. So I just took a buy as soon as we inched above that wick, because this wick didn't really concern me too much. And then this one right here again, still the same thing. Yep, so this guy, once this one broke above this 15-minute candle here, I was anticipating the hourly to flip, and then, which would have been, it was somewhere in this wick that the hourly flipped bullish. Or no, it was right here at the top of these candles that we flipped bullish. And then this is just an hourly wick with the momentum, and price ended up continuing, and then it did continue a lot further after that as well. I think I got Monday or... Nope, that's all of them for the week. So, I mean, it's the same trade all week. Same trade over here. And that's pretty much it. We started trading in practice account this week. Okay, nice. 60-40 rate. And losing pips. What can you do to increase positive outcomes? I would say save your charts and bring them to this recap next week, and we can go over them, and that'll definitely help. The other thing you can do is make sure you have a trading journal, kind of Trello. I like Trello. It's free. I like how I can just look at a color, see if I won or lost, have a picture of the trade, a little description of what I did in the trade. It's super simple, super easy, and it's really easy to navigate and stuff. So I would say you're going to need a trading journal. You're going to need to trade no more than 3.5 hours of your session. Whatever session you trade, whether it be one session or two sessions, and make sure it's the same time every day, because you're going to notice the same thing happens every day. So I'll just pull these up again. So check here. So NY session, and just notice how when price does this specific thing at this specific time, it does the same thing every time. So right here, price is going up. This is the New York session. So once we broke above here with momentum, price continued. Right? So if we break a high of a previous 15-minute candle with momentum, it continued. Let's see what happens the next time I take that trade. Here. Price trending up, we break the high, we continue. New York session, we break the high, we continue with momentum. That's the key. And then same thing for today's trade. We broke the high right here and we continued. So when you're doing the same one or two pairs, no more than two, you're looking at the same time, you're looking at the charts at the same time, you're going to notice it does the exact same thing in a sense. So those charts I just pulled up were the exact same trade, almost identical for all of these New York session trades. So if you're not consistent, I would say just focus in on that and look for the same thing every day, and eventually you're going to either notice the same thing and you're going to start to capitalize on it, or what you're doing already you're going to notice happens every day, and then you'll just continue to do that. This is not a software. Just go to Trello. I'll type it in the chat. Go to Trello.com and you just basically put your name and email in, you sign up, and that's it. Who is in the Zoom that has charts? Was that you, Nate?
Yeah.
All right. So you sent a bunch of links and two pictures.
I think just pull up like one or two.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, so go to that, but put www. in front of it, and that's where you can go. So no, we'll pull them all up. Let me just see how well it's gonna do that. I've got nowhere to be. I just don't know how. Yeah, I pulled up Internet Explorer. Ew, get the fuck out of here. I'll just copy and paste it. I think that'll work. So yeah, Fog, save your charts, and then I think the best thing besides doing that is going to be coming to these with those charts and then talking about them just like I was doing for my charts. And just by you saying it out loud, you'll be like, oh shit, like yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done this next time. But just because you're saying it out loud, you're gonna realize that stuff. The fuck, close, you piece. There we go. Alright, so I'll pull up the first picture you sent is what I have pulled up right now. So you want to walk us through that. It's the EJ 30-minute sell trade that you secured 8 pips on.
I'm not seeing anything on the screen yet.
Yep, yeah, it's going to be delayed for you, so.
Okay.
So yeah, just If you just walk me through it, I have it up on my screen, so when it comes through the live stream, it'll play correctly.
Okay. The first one. I think what I was thinking of, I've been marking up the charts like the same way, for all the trades. I plotted all the resistance zones. Why did I take this trade again? Oh, it's during the Asian trade. It was during the Asian session, and I plotted that zone based off of the H1, even though it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, based off of this 30-minute chart, the H1 zone.
Yep.
And I saw like the price was reaching up for it, and then it was kind of rejected. So Asian session always has pretty easy trades. I only really take trades like that whenever that like I'll buy like on a bearish bar or sell on a bullish bar during Asian session, just because I saw it works out pretty well. But I try not to do that too much.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. I like it. I think maybe if you just waited for it to break that bullish candle you sold on, if you just waited for it to get below the wick, that would just maybe give you the confirmation that it's going to continue down instead of like filling the wick or anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it worked out.